Describe yourself as a tennis player. Are you aggressive? Are you finesse? What's your strategy when you play tennis?
I'm much more of an aggressive player. I hit hard strokes as opposed to just drop shotting, but it depends on the opponent, and you have to figure out how to change your game to win the match.
Who are your influences growing up? Parents, coaches? Who influenced you as a person and a tennis player?
My dad pushed me in it because he saw that I had talent in it. I started when I was 4, and he put me in a coaching program, and they moved me up immediately, and so he always pushed me to stay in it. And also, I just grew up watching, like, Jennifer Capriati was my favorite growing up. She was really big in the 90s, and now I still follow, and I like Maria Sharapova, and I like to follow them a lot because they do a lot on and off the court, so it's nice.
Did you try to model your game after those tennis players, or them as a person, or what influence did they have on you?
I would say as a person, just because, I don't know, as good as Jennifer Capriati got, she was always very relatable and always did all her signings, everything. Like she signed tennis ball for me when I was 8, so that was like a big deal. So that was cool. And also on their court, they both are very aggressive with the ball. But when they need to be, if the other player is just pounding the ball back, then sometimes you need to throw in some fancy drop shots and stuff to get those points.
Normally, the preconceived notion is that college athletes are athlete students before that, but you definitely are a student athlete. Just talk about how important academics are to you.
Yeah, that was actually one of my bigger points in coming to Clarion, is because speaking with my coach, Lori Sabatos was the coach when I came in, and she was very, very big on school comes first, and that was really important to me since I'm applying for medical school actually in June, and I've stayed with it. And I mean, anybody who's been in any kind of biological sciences, we have labs that are 4 hours long for 1 credit, 3 or 4 times a week. So it was important that I had a coach that understood that I couldn't be at practices and I could make other things up instead because I had to miss.
You're a biology pre-med major, plus you're the treasurer for Student Senate and involved in sorority. Just talk about how you're able to balance school and school academics and extracurricular stuff.
For me, it's just time management, and I know that's like the cliche answer, but in high school I was really involved in stuff too. I played 3 sports and musicals, so it really set me up to do well in college that way also. I like to be involved in more things because it allows me to set time apart for homework when I have to get things done, as opposed to like when we're not in season and I have more downtime, I'm less likely to do my work because I know I have time to do it. So it's more just knowing when, keeping up on my due dates, keeping up with everything. I have a pretty in-depth calendar of everything that needs to be done at all times, and it just works out.
Now you mentioned Coach Lori was your coach first couple years here and left, and now Coach Thorpe. Talk about the both of them, what influence they've had on you as a tennis player in college and as a person also.
Both of them, as a tennis player, really pushed me to always be my best, and but not to ever hurt myself, because both of them, like growing up, it's always like play through the pain, and they've always been like pushing me to know my limits is more of the way to do it, because I mean, if you've seen our roster lately, we've been short on girls. We had a hard time recruiting last season. I believe we're doing a lot better this fall, but we didn't have the room for anybody to be injured. So if it was a tight match and we were already down and we weren't gonna win, it was like 3-6 before going into it, then he'd usually just, don't push yourself too hard. So, but I mean, they taught me how to use my limits, but also they pushed me as a player to go out of my comfort zone. And if I'm playing a power player just like me, I'm never gonna win if I play power back. So they taught me really well how to just keep the upper hand and throw in some extra, I keep repeating myself, but that's the way to do it. Just throw in some drop shots, more high kick serves instead of just regular power. And it worked out a lot of the time. So they definitely know what they're doing, both of them.
Just talk about what the biggest adjustment from high school to college was. Is it harder services, harder practices, more games? Talk about the difference.
Everything. For me, high school was much more laid back, relaxed, where in college, the competition is fierce. I mean, I played in states in high school for a few years, and it was very competitive there, but throughout the whole season, it's more about having fun and learning, making friends, and using your team to make a group of friends. Where in college, it's about winning competition, and the competition is so much stronger. And before college, I never played girls that weren't American, and I've been playing a lot of foreign players that are incredibly strong players. And when you up your level of play in college, you know what's coming, but at the same time you don't. The balls are coming faster, the serves are coming faster. You have to have better footwork in order to deal with the increased pace of the game. So that I had to work on before I could really get into competition.
Now, you came from Williamsville North High School all the way in North New York, about 3.5 hours away. Why did you come to Clarion?
One of the big things I was looking for was a good program for my major, and then another thing I was looking for was a tennis program that would work with it. And as I mentioned earlier, when Lori was recruiting me, she was very big on school comes first, and so that was really important to me. And also, when I actually came to school here, it was the year after they rebuilt the Science and Technology Center from the Pierce Center, so it was like all brand new state-of-the-art labs. And I mean, what more could you ask for coming into a university? So I found a tennis program that I felt I'd be comfortable in and I know I could do well in, and then a biology program that I felt was strong for me and could take me where I want to be in the future. So it was a win-win.
When you graduate, what do you want your lasting memory of Clarion to be as a student and as a tennis player?
Mine is going to be just, I've never had a closer group of friends. Even in like, I'm involved in, student senate, sorority, and tennis team, but like there's a different bond when you're winning and losing together and you're competing together. I don't really know how to explain it, but everybody that's played a sport I feel like knows that. And even though tennis is an individualized sport, college is more of a team sport too. That's actually another difference from high school. But and also I'll just remember like all the fun we had. I just have a great time with the girls. Like our spring break trips when we compete down in Hilton Head, they're so much fun. You get to live, it's like living with my best friends for a week, so it's nice.
What do you want your legacy here at Clarion to be? When people hear Maddie Robinson, what do you want them to think?
I think I just would like to be known as like a definition of a student athlete. Like I succeeded really well in school, and I also did well in tennis too, and I was able to do it at the same time. And I feel like that's what the athletic department and our education at this university looks for, because we have sometimes an imbalance with athletes and academics, and I just am proud going into my senior year that I've been able to balance it so well. So I'd like to be remembered for that.
Do you have any hidden talents or hobbies that you want us to know about?
I'm kind of plain Jane. I enjoy I like spending time with my friends and my family. I'm quirky, but nothing out of the ordinary, I guess.
Is there anything else you'd like to add or talk about yourself or the team?
If you're ever looking for fun, you should definitely come see the girls tennis team play and then maybe hang out with us after. It's a good time, good group of girls. Nobody takes themselves too seriously, and I think that's the best part about it.